Friends, I want to take a few minutes today and talk to you about something that has been weighing heavy on my heart lately, but in the best kind of way. In just a few months, our country turns 250 years old, and I want you to think about that for just a second. 2.5 centuries, a quarter of a millennium of American history. That's longer than most nations on earth have even existed. It's longer than the Roman Republic stood, and it's longer than most kings' dynasties have ever lasted. And when I sit back and reflect on what we've done as a people in that time, the images come flooding in one after another like a parade marching past. I see Francis Scott Key, a lawyer from Maryland, held aboard a British ship in Baltimore Harbor on a rainy September night in 1814. The bombs were bursting in air, the rockets' red glare lighting up the sky for 25 straight hours. And in the dawn's early light, squinting through the smoke, he sees her, our flag, 30 feet tall, still flying over Fort McHenry, and he reaches for a pen. I see Promontory Summit in Utah, May of 1869, 2 locomotives, one from the east and one from the west, coming nose to nose, a golden spike, a sledgehammer, and a telegraph that was sent with just one word, crackling across the continent, done. A nation stitched together from sea to shining sea. I see the Kitty Hawk. I see the Wright brothers, 2 bicycle mechanics from Ohio, lifting off the sand for 12 seconds and changing the skies forever. I see Neil Armstrong's boot pressing into the powder that sat undisturbed for 4.5 billion years. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. I see the flag raised on Iwo Jima. I see the wall coming down in Berlin. I see firefighters climbing the stairs of the Twin Towers while everybody else was running down. These moments, they are stitched into who we are. They're our inheritance. They're our DNA. But when I really go back, when I go back all the way to the beginning, my mind lands on a grassy hill outside of Boston in June of 1775. And I want to paint the picture for you as best I can. See, it was hot, unseasonably hot for New England. The air was thick and still, and down in the harbor, there were 60 British warships that sat at anchor and their cannons run out. Across the water, the rooftops of Boston are packed. Men in powdered wigs, women in bonnets, children on their father's soldiers, all turned out to watch what everybody expected to be a quick and crushing demonstration of imperial power. But up on a hill, there's about 1,200 Americans, farmers, blacksmiths, coopers, tanners, boys of 16, grandfathers of 60. They're not wearing uniforms. They're wearing the clothes that they had on when they got there that day. They've been digging all night by torchlight, throwing up earthwork berms, a dirt fort from nothing. Their hands are blistered. Their water's gone. Many of them have never, ever fired a shot in anger in their lives. Leading them is Colonel William Prescott. Up from behind him is General Israel Putnam, a 60-year-old veteran of the French and Indian War. Then there's Dr. Joseph Warren, who was a Boston physician and one of the most beloved men in the entire colony, who showed up as a volunteer that morning and takes his place in the line as a private. And across the harbor come the Redcoats, 2,200 of them. The pride of the British Empire, veterans of wars in Europe and India and the Caribbean. Their scarlet coats are brilliant in the afternoon sun. Their bayonets glitter. Fifes and drums, officers on horseback, perfect lines, perfectly dressed, marching in lockstep up that hill like something out of a painting. They're absolutely certain that these colonials, these peasants, will break and run the moment that they see the steel coming after them. But our guys, the good guys, they're low on powder. They're low on lead. Some of them have even pulled nails out of fence posts to load into their muskets. And the word, it goes down the line from Prescott, from Putnam, from the sergeants crouched behind that dirt wall. They say, don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes. And those farmers, those peasants, they held. They watched the redcoats come closer, close enough to hear the drums, close enough to see the brass buttons on their coats, close enough to see the faces of the men who were marching up there to kill them. And then they opened up. And the British line didn't just falter, it was shattered. Men fell in heaps. Officers went down first. The survivors stumbled back down the hill. They regrouped, and they came up a second time. And they were thrown back again. And the smoke, it was so thick you couldn't see 10 feet in front of you. And Charleston was burning behind them, and the British had set it on fire. 400 buildings were going up in flames. It took a third assault. and the fact that Americans had finally run out of ammunition and powder and were reduced to swinging their muskets like clubs before the redcoats could take that hill. We lost the hill that day, technically. We lost the Battle of Bunker Hill. It's a fact. But something happened on the hill that changed the war forever, and it changed the world. The British walked off with more than 1,000 casualties, over 200 of their officers dead or wounded. General Gage wrote home to London that night and he said, "The loss we have sustained is greater than anything we can bear." And the Americans, well, we walked off with something you can't put a price on. We call it American pride. We walked off knowing that we could stand, we could fight, and we could bloody the nose of the most powerful empire on the face of the earth. And that's what I think about when I think about America's history. It isn't just the winning. Every nation wins sometimes. What makes us different? What's been different from the very first shot is that we stand when the odds say that we shouldn't. We hold the line when everybody expects us to break. We wait for the whites of their eyes. That's the thread. From Breed's Hill to Valley Forge to the walls of the Alamo, from Gettysburg to Belleau Woods, from the beaches of Normandy to the frozen ridges of the Chosin Reservoir, from the jungles of Khe Sanh to the streets of Fallujah. Ordinary Americans doing extraordinary things because somebody had to do it. And on an earlier anniversary of this nation, the great statesman Daniel Webster stood at the base of Bunker Hill Monument and he said that the generation of 1776 had succeeded in emancipating 3 million people from, and I want to make sure I get this right, from the degrading chains of foreign dominion. 3 million souls freed. That's the inheritance that they handed down to us, bought and paid for on a hillside outside of Boston, and 100 hillsides ever since. And that's why you and I get to celebrate this coming July. So as we approach 250 years, let me ask you something. What comes to your mind? What moment in our history makes your chest swell with pride? Is it a battle? Is it a speech? Is it restraint? Is it an invention? Is it your grandfather's uniform hanging in a closet? Whatever it is, hold on to it, cherish it, share it. Tell your kids, tell your grandkids. Because a nation that forgets what made it great won't stay great for long. 250 years. We've got a lot to be proud of. By God, we've got a lot left to do. May God bless you and God bless America and happy 250th birthday.